here you are again. You're looking for a mic, you want to sound better, you want to look better for a pretty decent budget, right? Why else would you click on this video? So if that's what you're here for, I'm not going to hold you up. Let's take a quick look, maybe not quick, at the Maono DM40 Pro condenser microphone, both wired and wireless. You've been seeing a lot of these in the market popping up. Wireless mics of this sort from different varying brands. Let's take a look at what we get for our money right there. Look at the money. Wait, money right here. One of these sides, money. And this is the awesome microphone you're gonna get in your flying face. This thing looks pretty fancy for a desktop or even boom arm mounted microphone. And it looks pretty cool. You get yourself a nice little metal mesh pop filter there. And this shock mount feels like a hard plastic. Yes, it is in fact a very hard plastic and very rubbery. Ooh, nice bouncy shock mount. Of course, you're gonna get full 360 RGB on the whole device. On the bottom, you got yourself a USB-C port. You have an RGB control button and a headphone jack for monitoring live. And what is that switch? I don't know, I haven't looked at it. Oh, so you have the option to turn monitoring on or off on a hardware level with that switch. And if you look how this actually came out of box, you see that little orange thing sticking out the back there with a little pin icon. Specs, pretty good frequency response rate, 20 hertz to 20 kilohertz frequency response. Nice wide dynamic range. It is in fact a condenser, so make sure you're talking into the front of that. The button on the front is both for controlling your monitor and mic mix there. That's a nice soft sponge. They're improving their buttons because the PD200X button was the loudest thing on earth. What? And on the top, you have a touch capacitive mute button, and you have a noise cancellation button on the top as well. Both touch capacitive, and there are a couple of levels of noise cancellation. So we're gonna look at that. The cable that came with the device is just a bit short for my taste and flavor. I like chocolate mixed with vanilla. What? Short cable, but good thing we have this adapter, and we're just gonna plug it in wirelessly to our port, which is about 5 to 6 feet away from us, maybe more. 1, 2, and 3, and we got some power going. Pretty cool, nice RGB aesthetic there. Okay, pretty nice. Right now it's flashing blue because it is looking for its sun, which should be plugged into my computer. Let me go plug that in right now. All right, I plugged it in, and the LED on the front of it turned green. It lets me know that it has found its sun somewhere connected. Here we are with the DM40 Pro at 100%. And that's just to give you a little bit of idea of what that handling noise is like. So don't bump into that. I like it. It's not very boomy or low end heavy. Not a lot of bass. Just my first impression, which is okay. Pretty crispy and clear and loud. Okay. Signal to noise ratio 72 dB, which is not bad. This is the quality. What do you think? Right out of the box. This is just wireless. Plosives. Let's just get right into plosives. Peter Piper picked a pack of Pepsis, popped them, poured them into a pitcher. Impressive. Okay, plosives are good. Even kind of blowing into it profusely. Ooh, profusely. Don't do that. Fix your life. Siblance. I feel like there's more siblance than plosives. Caesar ate us out about a seashore with Susan and a so on us. Yeah, siblance for sure. So you may have to cut off some of the high end. All right, so there are levels to this. Noise suppression levels, that is. You can do it in a couple ways, right? You have the button here, which will set off the low, medium, high noise suppression levels. But I felt like there was like 4 levels of like noise suppression. So let's go through them. Pressing it one time, it turns sky blue on the front of it. So you get a sky blue for that first noise suppression level. You hear that? So it works, but it kind of almost works like a noise gate because as I'm talking, I still hear a little bit of the fans sliding in with my voice. So let's go to the second level. I said second level. It turns to a darker blue. And it is a bit more harsh. It is definitely cutting off more of the fans, even while I'm talking, at the loss of some of the vocal frequencies of your voice. But if you're not using it for singing or voiceovers, then it will be just fine for Zoom calls, for gaming, that sort of thing. So you'll be fine to get good quality audio for basic needs like that. But for singing, you're gonna have to open it up and turn that off. All right, is there another level? It turned green again. Is that like a harsher noise suppression? Testing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Press it again and it turns off. Mono Link app. Let's get into that. Here we are with our Maono DM40 Pro and the Mono Link app. Check it out. And over here on the side, we got levels, and we can probably mute it with that button right there. And I heard it mute in my headset. A little bit of a delay. We're wireless. Pay attention. And it gives you the device, and you have some basic instructions before leaving Earth. There are a few things you can do here with the app. You have your basic things like your volume right here, for example, and recording. You can actually record to your computer. Microphone gain, I dropped it down to about this level because this seems like it was a good level of gain. Your headphone volume for monitoring if you want to listen, right? A little bit of a delay when you kind of move the sliders if you're going wireless. And in the bottom on your basic tab, you have noise cancellation. So we can turn that on. And it looks like it's on a customized noise cancellation. And if I go to slight, these are like the default noise cancellation levels. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It does cut out a significant amount. Moderate. So there were 3 levels: light, medium, and aggressive. Sounds okay. And then if you get aggressive, this is heavy, heavy noise cancellation. And then you have a customized noise cancellation. So you can set this as high or as low as you like. So if any of these presets are just not hitting the mark, you can start from down here, which is pretty low, and go to 100, which is the highest, which is probably the aggressive. So you can kind of just tinker around with it, use your scroll wheel, and probably like right about here, it's pretty decent. All right, so let's keep it on off for now. We're gonna go over to scene settings and see what we got here. So here you can customize your EQ. This is the fantastic thing about the Mono Link application in your flying mouth. Okay, so right now this is the original EQ, and you have some presets here. So let's just try out these presets, see what they sound like. Game. Okay, so this is the game EQ, and I notice you can see the profile it creates down here, a nice visual profile, and you see it created it dropped in a lot of high pass filter. Yes, so it's definitely going to cut out some of that bass, as you can hear, and it brings up a little bit more of that high-end vocal, right, on these higher frequencies. A little bit of low pass filter to get some of that sibilance. Yeah, the sibilance is now a little bit more reduced, which is fantastic. And I'm looking here, there's a little drop-down window here. What is that? Clear voice. You have game, which is what we have here. Wow, it just switched it to a whole other profile. So each of these tabs seems to have more than one configuration. Okay, you have clear voice, which I think is the one I put. This one sounds pretty good, actually. Definitely clarifies that vocal presence. Nice and bright. Okay, and then we have intercom. Wow, look at the profile on that. My God, if you want to talk like you're on a radio, this is what it sounds like. Dan, that's probably right where my fans sit. You hear that? Yeah, okay. So this is good for, I guess, some kind of effect. And if you want, you can add some reverberation to it with a slight, moderate, or strong reverberation. Wow. It's introducing a little bit of popping too. Okay, so that is game. Let's switch that. And then we have the stream option here. It looks like it brings in a big bright piece up here of that high end. And this is for that ASMR stuff. So when you want to get that crinkly stuff like that, and you got like plastic and paper, and you want to flipping stuff. And how many ASMR options? Let's look at the configuration drop down. We got the stream option. Okay, so this looks like it's boosting up some low end, different type of ASMR. If you have a voice and you just want to do some vocal ASMR to bring in that rich, bassier vocal tone and some brightness there as well to get that sizzliness, because sometimes people like those S's and T's, right? And let's go down to hotline bling. What? Drake hotline. This is okay. This sounds more like a standard kind of vocal with a bit highness. I like it. Not bad at all. There is literally no high or low pass filters going here. Let's add an EQ. We'll call it, I don't know. Where's my keyboard? We'll call it test EQ for now, right? Click confirm. And we're still on flat, but now we can adjust some of these levels here. So, right, we can slide them in any, this is like a parametric EQ setup here. So you can kind of wiggle these left and right all over the place, right? You can turn on your high pass if you wanted to, if you wanted to get rid of some of that bass or all of your bass. I don't see why. But if you have like low end noise in your room or rumble, you might want to do a little bit of that to get anything past that 20 hertz. So if you're missing bass in your voice, you can definitely bump that way up. Look at that. And you know what? That bass here, right here at the far end, sounds super clean and clear. I like this. The mic out of box is okay with flat EQ, pretty decent. Tap in that Moano Link app and you can customize this to sound exactly how you want it to. Let's go to the next tab. AI voice. What do we got here, Tech Gamers? Something new that Moano is introducing here with their Moano app as well as with their new devices.
We have some AI settings now. You'll probably be a little off put because the AI is going to have a little bit of a delay, and they warn you in settings that there will be some delay from when you hear yourself, but there will be less delay when it's going out into, let's say, a live stream, for example. So that's just the coming back delay that you get. So right now we're on Ari. I don't know if she's Ari from Game of Thrones, but what do you think of the quality of these voiceovers? I have it off because the delay will cause me to stumble upon my words.
Everyone knows who Deadpool is from the Marvel Universe, and you know he is quite a fantastic character. Pretty funny. I like his character. Moving on from Deadpool, Ganyu.
Know who Ganyu is, or mostly all of these characters are, but you could tell me in the comments who these are.
I don't know what Horizon sounds like. Let me get a little taste of it. So he sounds like a boy, so you can probably get into character once you know what the character is like and play as if you're that person and you can fit the role.
Okay, Jet sounds like an excited little kid who's looking for Saturdays to play his video games and watch cartoons, eating a bowl of Fruit Loops. What?
Mr. Sponge? Anybody know who Mr. Sponge is? I was listening to it early and it sounds pretty cool. I think you will like. Little old Mr. Sponge reminds me of SpongeBob SquarePants just a little bit.
Paimon. Who is Paimon? Let me know in the comments who Paimon is. I don't know what she sounds like. Oh, she has a very high-pitched voice, pretty cute, and she's probably very pretty and itsy-bitsy, and has a pink room and all that good fun stuff.
My name is Q, and I like to hang out with my friends, and we eat candy, and we make fun of all the little boys and burn their hair. What? She's violent.
All right, Sakuna. So Sakuna sounds like more of a professional voice. So if people out in the audience don't know who Sakuna is, you could just pretend you are a professional talking online and just totally be someone else. All right, you're hired. What?
Tifa sounds like one of the early characters, but it sounds pretty cool. A little bit of an older girl. Don't know where she is from. You let me know what you think of these voice changes and how good is it working through the Moano Link app right here. Okay, let's take this off because it's kind of throwing me off.
There you have it, Techies and Gamers. The awesome DM40 Pro, I think it's pretty awesome for the prices coming in at and all of the awesome features packed in. This is more of a super gamer's microphone with all of the features packed in, with it being wired and wireless, with all of the AI features that I just demonstrated, with the noise cancellation built in, touch capacitive buttons, soft monitoring, click here. It's just so much thing, the RGB lighting. It's a lot of stuff. And not to mention the fantastic audio quality and the EQ settings you can apply to this to make it sound just the way you like. It's pretty good. This makes a full pass on the Tech Toys and Gaming channel. Only thing I would probably say as a thing that I might use improvement is probably on the software side, just the AI delays, which the voices sound fantastic. It just, you have to correct it. If you wanted to make a recording like this in real time, you'd have to just mess with the timing, right? Delay the audio or speed up the video, one or the other, to make it so that it matches and you got kind of like a voice changer effect going on in a pre-recorded video. In stream, it's a little bit more already on time, and there's ways to adjust your audio with third-party apps to make it so that you can make your video delay a little bit or your voice delay, either one, to make it sync properly. Maybe the noise handling, it's pretty plasticky and noisy when you're touching it, but once you have it set on a boom arm, you take it off this little stand here, you're probably good to go. So yeah, if you want another mic that's probably equivalent of this, check out this video right here. That'll take you to something similar, probably just a bit cheaper. It doesn't have all the functions this has, but it has some of them, right? I'll see you in that video. Maybe. What?